books. Today we are talking about a bunch of questions and answers about books. First up, who or what got you into reading? And I would say this was my mom, just through my childhood, reading to me and having friends who like to read. Number two, your first favorite book. My first favorite book, I guess, like when I was younger, my favorite book was the A Life of Faith series, which I know I've talked about before. So I'm kind of cheating with the series, but I adored those books. Your current favorite book? The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. You can also check out my 3 favorite book video in the description below. Whew. My current favorite book is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, and you can see all 3 of my favorite books in the description below. And favorite book of all time? That's the same, The Book Thief. Least favorite book of all time? I don't know. I usually get rid of books or move on from them whenever I don't like them, and I am really good at forgetting things, so I try to forget those books. What books can you not live without? Well, I wrote a blog post on that. Every year I come up with the 10 books that I can't live without for that year, and those are like the top 10 books that I'd take with me to college or just take with me everywhere around the world. What books do you rave about? What books do you rave about? I rave about The Book Thief and Jane Austen because she's my favorite author. I also rave about The Mysterious Benedict Society and The Lunar Chronicles. Both of those are 3 or 4 book series, and they're really, really good. They're The Mysterious Benedict Society is middle grade, and The Lunar Chronicles is YA. Very different books, but I adore both series. An author that you dislike or hate? I don't hate any authors. I mean, they poured their soul into that book. How could you? I know there's gotta be one. I can't think of any right now. What popular book do you just hate? I did not like What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty or something like that. What Alice Forgot, yeah. That was an adult book, and I just didn't like anything about it. It felt like a very soccer mom-ish book, like, in a bad way. I love soccer moms sometimes, but this was a bad soccer mom book. Okay. How many books do you read in a month? Typically 7 or 8. How many books do you read in a year? Last year I read 63. This year my goal is 60. Next year my goal will be 70. What do you do to get through a reading slump? Well, I wrote a blog post on that too. You can read it in the description below. Reading slumps are the worst, but there are ways to kickstart your reading life, and one of those is just getting into a new genre. Sometimes you're just reading the same old boring stuff, or you don't want to read, and you just need to put reading prompts up. Okay, favorite genre? Probably YA right now. I really like young adult novels. I'm okay with fantasy, but I prefer just YA about relatable heroines. My least favorite genre is probably, well, there are certain genres that I've just never read. Like, I've never read a thriller or horror or anything like that. So I guess those would be my least favorite genres, even though I've never read them, because I never read them, and I never will. How many bookshelves do you have? I have 1 shelf in my closet, and, like, literally 1 shelf. Not like a bookshelf, but a shelf. And it's really long, but that's where all my books are right now. So, 1 shelf. How many books do I own? A reader asked this in a comment on my book A reader asked this in the comment section of my video that was a bookshelf tour, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know. So let me go count real quick, and I'll get back to you. Whoosh. I have 87 books that are like mine. Wait, there's one. 88. I have 88 books that are technically books and that are technically mine. That's a weird number, but 88. Okay. My biggest book haul. I haven't done any book hauls on this channel yet, but I know I've gotten, my latest book haul was the entire Harry Potter series, and that's 7 books, and I spent $80 on books in one day, and that was probably my biggest book haul. How many books do you get or buy in a year? I wrote a blog post like yesterday on how you should only buy at full price 1 book per year. So you can read that in the description below. But I typically buy books at resale stores like Half Price Books and get them for free through giveaways or friends or the library. Goodreads challenge or reading goal for this year. My goal, like I said earlier, is 60 books because it is 2016. Every year I'm going to increase that by 10 books. Favorite series? Off the top of my head, I'm going to say The Lunar Chronicles because I really, really loved that series and I want to buy all the books and keep them forever and hug them every day. Least favorite series? I don't think I was ever committed enough to a series that I didn't like, that I was willing to read the whole series, if you follow me. I don't want to read a series that I don't like the first book to it, so I'm not going to read an entire series and then have it be my least favorite series. The longest series I own is the A Life of Faith series. There are 8 books on Elsie, 8 books on Violet, 8 books on Millie, 1 book on Laylee, and 4 books on Kathleen. That is a lot of books. At one point I was collecting the Mandy series, which is 40 books, but I decided not to keep collecting those. So, yes, A Life of Faith is the longest series that I own. Pick the 23rd book on your bookshelf, open it to page 86 and find the 13th line. Type it out for us. Okay, I'm going to pick the 23rd book on my bookshelf, open it to the 86th page, and find the 13th line. One moment, please. So I forgot all my picture books in that 88 books, so I have 88 chapter books. That is not including my picture books. But this is the 23rd book on my bookshelf. I'm going to open it to the 86th page. Oh, it opened right up to the 86th page. Look at that. And 13th line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't really think this says anything about you as a reader. It said, what Eid paid in the first place. Well, that was a fun challenge. Okay. Favorite quote? Oh my goodness. I'm reading Madeleine L'Engle right now, and her quotes are out of this world. There is one in particular that I wrote down in a journal recently. Whoosh. Okay, I have a quotes journal with all my favorite quotes, and one of the recent quotes by Madeleine L'Engle is, "I'm apt to get drunk on words." I really liked that one. Also, every time like is misused, it is weakened as a simile word. I respect that because I don't like it when people misuse the word like. I also have my hope journal, which is where I'm recording quotes on hopes and hopefulness. And one of them that I really like by Madeleine L'Engle is, "I suppose the perfect isness," meaning like state of being and peacefulness, "of anything would be frightening without the hope of God." So, like, just being in a moment and not doing anything, but just being, that would be frightening without the hope of God. And I agree. That's probably why our culture is so busy. Okay. This video is getting really long, but we're gonna plow on. How many books have you read so far this year? Let me check Goodreads. I have read 45 books this year so far. And how many books have you read so far this month? I don't think I've read any books so far this month. Let me check. Y'all, Goodreads is the best. Okay, I've read 2 books so far this year, and those are Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is Harry Potter number 3, and Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I gave Harry Potter 5 stars and Big Magic 2. Okay. Do you read classics? Yes. Do you read fan fiction? No. In general, no, unless it's written by one of my friends, and then I would read it to support my friend. Do you read poetry? No, but I would like to read more. And it says, do you like poetry? Yes. The little bit I have read. I'm hoping to get some more poetry books at Half Price Books in the near future and read that more often. Any other readers in your family? Yes. The funny thing is that my mom kind of taught me that reading is good for you and you should read, but she's not a big reader herself. But in the last 2 years, I have converted her, and her goal for this year is to read 24 books, and she is on track to meet that goal. So she, I would consider a reader, and my brother, not so much anymore. Are any of your friends readers? Oh my, yes. All my friends, like my close friends, are readers. And that's just the way it has to be. Like, I have to have in my life friends that I can have an intelligent conversation about a book with. Like, that's just very important to me. Does your family support your reading habits? Yes, obviously. Favorite book turned movie? Is it saying your favorite book or your favorite movie adaptation of a book? I am going to say Anne of Green Gables, because those were great movies and great books. Least favorite book turned movie? The Giver. I adore the book, and the movie was disappointing. Your OTP, which is your one true pair, Darcy and Lizzie. I ship them all the way. Do you like ebooks? And do I use ebooks? No and no. I've tried to read ebooks. It's not that they're on a screen and I don't like that. Like, I should be able to read ebooks on trips and stuff, but I just have trouble remembering that there are ebooks on my phone. There's so many other distractions, and I don't have an iPad or Kindle or anything like that, so I do not end up reading ebooks. Paperback or hardback? On the shelf, hardbacks look better. In my hand, paperback. Do you use a library? Yes, I use my local public library. I wrote a blog post on that, so you have a lot of reading to go do. I'm doing a 31-day series on reading right now, and so, yeah, there's a lot going on my blog about reading. Do you want to be an author, or are you content to just be a reader? People who know me know that I am working on a novel, and I've been working on it since my freshman year of high school. So, yeah. But I'm going to start a new novel this month with NaNoWriMo, and if you don't know what that is, that's National Novel Writing Month, and it's a big thing on BookTube and with writers on Twitter and stuff. So NaNoWriMo, I am starting a brand new novel. I love my old novel, but I think it's time to set it aside because I think I've done all I can with it for now. It is still my magnum opus, but I'm hoping to nurture up another one. Do you have any books already written by you? Yes. My novel that I was already talking about, it's still in progress, but it's called The Blue Sky and the Yellow Sun, and I'm happy to talk about it even though I have an awful elevator pitch. Do you want to be a poet? No. Books that make you cry? The Book Thief and Me Before You. I sobbed in both of those books. Books that made you scared? And Then There Were None was a little freaky by Agatha Christie. No, that's not the name of the book. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie was a little freaky. But you knew what I meant. What book character does your mother remind you of? Man, I have to be careful with this one. My mother reminds me of Eleanor Dashwood from Sense and Sensibility. There we go. And what book character does your father remind you of? Mr. Ben... No, he's not a Mr. Bennett. Maybe a Matthew Cuthbert. I could see a Matthew Cuthbert. Okay. Won any writing competitions? No. Won any poetry competitions? No. A book/writing related job that you'd love to do? Librarian, bookstore owner, bookstore worker, anything to do with books, I would be happy with. Writing related job, editor, publisher. I'm going to be an English major, so pretty much anything reading or writing related I will do. Do you have plenty of bookish items around your house? Yeah, considerably. I mean, like, I have a stack of books as my nightstand, so does that count? And I have this little bowl that's on my reading side table, and it has a bunch of book darts in it, which are little bookmarks. And these are my book plates. And I have a bunch of journals, like I said, that I keep quotes in. And yeah, that's reading related stuff. Oh, I have a sign up on my wall. Let me show you. If you see it right up there. It says read. So, yeah. And let's see. Do you want more books? Well, these are all the books that I haven't read yet. So yes, I want more books, and no, I don't want more books because I already feel overwhelmed by what I have. And yes, of course, I still want more books. I want to collect some of the books that I've already read, but I don't feel like I need to own any books that I have not read yet. So I'm working on collecting The Last Jane Austen, Mansfield Park, and I'd like to collect the Lunar Chronicles series. Do you consider yourself a fast reader? No. Do you consider yourself a slow reader? No. I consider myself a medium reader because I am faster than my mom and slower than my brother and my friends. Do you have book buying bans for yourself? I probably should, but I don't. Other than I really only buy at full price one book a year. And I just try to keep it in moderation, but you know, obviously I don't always keep it in moderation. Do you gift your friends and families with bookish items / books? Yes. I got today in the mail my Christmas gift and birthday gift for people, and it's bookish. What else do you get besides books at a bookstore? If I go to Barnes & Noble, I might get coffee at the Starbucks, or I don't really buy bookmarks or anything. I really buy books at a bookstore. That's what you're supposed to go to a bookstore for. And do you use bookmarks a lot? No, I use my book darts that I just showed you. So, if you have any other bookish questions, you can put them in the comments below. Until next time. And, whew, my outro. What's my outro? Ah! Don't forget, the book was better. Always.